Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago as usual. And look who I have, none other than the world famous Steve Vincent. Say hello, Steve.
Welcome to Law Talk with Mike.
All right. This is really fun. Wait, I got to put the chat on so I can see. Can you see the chat, Steve?
No, I'll trust you.
You probably can't where you're at.
Yeah, I'll trust you.
We were just like prepping for this. He's had a heck of a day, so he's like, whatever. He's still not home from work yet. Thank you so much for coming on.
You know what? I say this to two people at the court. I think, you as well as your followers see it. I say it's a privilege and an honor to the two chiefs, to the Chief Judge McConico, as well as the Chief Magistrate Kleperic. I'm going to say it to you. It's a privilege and an honor. I think you're doing great stuff over here, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, well, thank you. So do people actually watch over there?
I think our YouTube is shut off. I think that there are certain courtrooms still that have YouTube going on. I have my suspicions as to why our YouTube and our courtroom got shut off. But
when you say you're talking about DDC, like 134?
Yeah, 134. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh, I miss it. It's killing us. I like, you know who, I liked all of them, but Burton made me laugh.
You know what, Magistrate Burton, he's a good guy.
He is.
I like having conversations with him. I think he's gotten a lot better as a magistrate. I think he's shooting to be a judge. I wish him all the best in the world. He does things a little bit differently than I do. He's a little bit friendlier. I think you guys know this. I'm an attack dog. I go after it.
Oh, that's what we love.
Well, you know what?
I was prepping for this. I was prepping for this, and I didn't have time to clip it. And I was going to do it and show it to you, but I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
But the first thing that popped up was you going at it with Phil Reagan, and he's got a client with a laundry list of stuff. What, among other things, impregnating his cousin. Then he knocks somebody out and urinates on them. And you go through it point by point, and you are not pleased. And I mean, these are disgusting acts.
Yeah.
And at the end of all that, Phil's like, yeah, my client tells a different story, and he's kind of a knucklehead. And you're like, oh my God.
Well, you know what I'll tell you? I have a lot of respect for Phil. He's done this for a while. He has his own way of doing it. But again, it's just not my way. I'm not accustomed to the way that a lot of people, magistrates, judges, defense attorneys, handle their arguments in the courtroom. I came from a civil background. Mm-hmm. I ended up coming over to the 36th District Court about 2.5 years ago. I was kind of in a, if you want this, if you don't, you can say, Steve, whoa, this isn't where this is supposed to go. Let's just talk about cases. But I can give you a little bit of
what question I have right now?
Yeah.
If you're in the 36D?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in front of Judge Lanice Bryant?
No, she does. You know what she does? You know what's funny is I've watched your channel. I actually consider myself a pseudo fan of yours because I really like what you do. I think it's very interesting the way that you cover law. It's not everything. It's kind of a lot of those eye-popping kinds of cases where, it catches people's attention. I like that. And whatever it takes to get people into law, into the courtroom, I think is fantastic. I mean, I love this profession. I wouldn't do anything else. But I have not been in front of Lanice Bryant. She is, I see her. She's pretty dramatic in her effect. I think she's a fair judge.
Yes.
Kind of more suited to the 36D, the way she does things, because I've been all over town. I know you're kind of familiar with the town. But 36D is a little unique in the way it's the people's court. These judges.
It's a lot unique.
It's very unique. But you know what? The truth is, a lot of these judges, like Burton, who's a magistrate, or other judges, they're trying to befriend I think it's kind of the status quo at 36th District Court.
Yeah.
They want to come to a fair resolution, but they're more about I don't want to say befriending individuals, but they're a lot more tolerant of all of the crime. I'm not.
Yes.
That's not what I'm paid to do.
Yes.
I'm
I'd say Perkins is in that mold too. I don't know if you know him.
I, I do. I do.
What you're saying, it's exactly what I'm observing.
Yeah, you know what? I consider myself like a paid assassin. You know, I work and no joke. And you know what? Don't take that the wrong way because I love what I do. It's the passion. If I was working for the other side, I would, you know, I would do everything I possibly could for, let's say, a defendant. But I work for the city. I work for the city, and my job is to protect each and every person and law-abiding citizens that want that protection and make sure that these defendants show up to court, and if they deserve to be in jail, you know, that they go to jail and stay there at least until the PCC or the exam. But I'm fighting constantly. You see this, your viewers see this. I'm constantly fighting this idea that we want to give people second, third, and fourth chance. And I get it. I have, and I got to say this, the respect I have for a lot of the judges and magistrate is out of the roof. It starts with McConaughey. He is a fantastic chief judge. I actually think that he should be in, you know, a justice in the Supreme Court. I think he'll be there one day because he gets it. But we have this bail agreement that the 36th District Court ended up entering with the ACLU because I don't know how much you or your followers.
I don't know about it, but I can see it coming. Okay.
Well, what happened was there were a bunch of defendants that all got together and filed a cause of action against the 36th District Court because they felt any cash bond that they ended up receiving was considered a remand. They don't have the money. It's a socioeconomic issue. ACLU comes in and they end up representing these people instead of the 36th District Court. And this is my impression of it. But you know what? I've done a lot of work on this because it's intimate to me and what I do. Instead of fighting it, what they did was they ended up settling with the ACLU and saying, okay, we're going to agree to certain percentages where if it's assaultive, if it's, you know, non-assaultive, whatever, 80% of assaultive cases, they're going to still be given personal bonds. 87% of, and I constantly fight this, as well as, you know, as you guys know, Lisa Coyle, who I have a ton of respect for, that I work for. And now we have new people that work with us as well. We fight this on a daily basis. So the magistrates' wrists are tied, proverbial hands are tied, the judges' hands are tied. So, and then you see me, you got you and everybody who's watching you sees me, and they're like, wow, Steve's going after this. He's like trying to do his best. It's only because I love what I do, but I know it's going to be damn hard to try to convince a magistrate. Actually, it's going to be impossible because they have to meet certain quotas. And
that's really interesting. What you just told me, the whole ACLU thing. Okay, so I didn't know that, but it explains everything. It like I could see that was the vibe in there. I didn't know we had this explicit agreement.
Right. Yeah. No.
And I get exactly what you're saying. That is, I think, why you are sort of popular with my viewers. It's not like you're not like crazy, and they're not crazy. But they sort of have a softer approach. You have a more old-fashioned approach. You're trying to hold the line. No, this is not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay, but there's a little friction there, and it's kind of interesting to see. But really, you're the only one I see over there, like in the 36D, trying this.
I only know one way, and I appreciate you saying as much. Those are really kind words. But you got to understand this. I didn't get into this profession in my civil, life, in this criminal life, and I'm going to be going back to civil here very soon. I am, I do have to leave 3060. I have to go back to what I'm truly passionate about in civil litigation. I didn't get into this profession to make friends. I didn't. You know what? Maybe that's the motto or the modus operandi of other people. I don't, and I don't care. Put a target on me, I embrace it. You know why, Mike? And you know this. You're a lawyer.
Mhm.
I out research people. I out know these, the
Mhm.
allegations better than anybody else. I know the rules of evidence better than everybody else. So you know what? Try to come after me. Try, and you know what? You better get me down, because if you don't, I'm going to come after you twice as hard. So, and I think people appreciate that. That's why I appreciate you and your followers, because I think they see that, they're savvy to it. And honestly, Mike, that's why I agreed to this. I would never do this with anybody else. I just love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
It's just fantastic.
What the recent case I just did was and I was going to ask you, so it's already on our list. The recent case you just did, it's the murder of the trans
Oh, yeah, the transgender individual. Yeah.
transgender individual.
Yeah.
You get into it with Mr. Murad.
Yeah.
You guys get along, don't you?
I have a ton of respect for Mr. Murad.
Yeah,
He is,
right. But I mean, but in court's different. But but outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any friends in the courtroom. Outside of it, you know what? We're very cordial. We respect each other. I think I've told him this. He reminds me a lot of me when I was younger. And unfortunately, I say that now because I am getting older. None of us are getting any younger. But I see, you know how you see certain things in people. I see this innate ability in him to be able to articulate things and argue and go on the fly. I don't have respect for a ton of people. You know what? Maybe I'm throwing respect in this interview loosely because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I do respect people. Mr. Morad's one of those people. I just think, you know, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. The whole idea behind Bruce Lee was the sign of intellect was your ability to adapt. Yeah, and he's one of a few who can adapt to situations. So I consider him intelligent, and I have respect for him because of that. But like you said, it doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of difference, because when we go into the courtroom, you know what, the gloves are on, and I'm gonna fight for whoever, like I would a family member. That's just my approach to all of it.
Are you following that case? So you did that arraignment. That's a wild case.
Yeah,
but there's an example of exactly what you're talking about. You're like this no bond. The first no bond at all. This person cannot leave custody. Period. End of statement. And you're correct. That's your position.
Oh, no, 1,000%. I mean, I'm happy to, get into what I can with you, but there were even things that I left out in terms of what I was articulating to the magistrates. We have so many cases now. It's like nobody's scared of me anymore. I don't know. We keep getting more and more cases and cases and cases, and it's just like, this is crazy. We just continue to arraign people, and arrests are being made. And God love all the police officers, because they're working their butts off. But yet we're in the courtroom and we're getting 30 plus, 32, 34 cases in one docket. So in that particular argument, I didn't even bring up certain facts, but you got to think about this. So in the transgender case, I have a defendant who is wanting to get oral sex from this individual. He gets the oral sex, right? He's paying this individual for the oral sex. Now he likes that so much. All right, you know what? Let's go all the way with this thing. So we bargain, to have intercourse. Well, you know what? He didn't really bargain for what he found in between this individual's legs, and then all hell breaks loose. The thing that struck me was that was strangulation. That wasn't a shot to the chest. That wasn't a punch and run away. That was, I am going to strangle you until every last breath is out of your body. And you are going to be laying there and you're going to be dead. And you know what? I'm going to watch you do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rob you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to rob you. I'm not just going to rob you of the money that I paid you in order to have this sex with you. I'm going to take your phone too. So, you know what? The whole idea that, oh, you know what, this was the heat of passion, or, oh, you know what? There are mitigating circumstances. To me, there's no mitigating circumstances here. You go after that person. That person needs the same reparation that that individual is dealing with now, which is 6 feet underground. You know, but that's just me.
Oh, I know. And then I said, Mr. Murad shocked me there. Now, I know you got to deal with the case you have, especially as a criminal defense attorney. You really do. You have horrible facts all the time.
Yeah.
But I was shocked when he pulled out the trans panic defense. I really was. And then asked for a PR bond.
Yeah, you know what?
I get it. You can ask.
His back was against the wall with this. You got to understand, and you don't know this, but in the beginning of my day, I have cases that are issued to me, and I immediately have to go off, and I have to go to every different medium to try to understand everything about the case. I think I go, probably a little above and beyond. I get really nerdy. Like, I have certain engines. I have, a prosecutorial engine, and then I have 36Ds, and then I have all these files and everything. Damn it, Mike, I want to know everything about it. I want to know every single thing about it, but it's so much work, and we get all of our cases, we do all of that, and then we don't get any rest, and then we have to go right into our afternoon docket. So with what you're saying, maybe he just didn't have the time to really kind of prepare. He's going on the fly. That's why I say, you know what, I appreciate any defense attorney. And you know what, I have more respect for some than others. I do like them all. I think they're good people. I really do. I think they all mean well. My synergy isn't at its highest with some of them. But you know what? I have to appreciate the fact that they only get a finite amount of time and they're doing their best. And, I'll leave it at that.
Yes. That's the other thing that people, I actually try to temper that on my channel, just not to like defend all attorneys, but people like someone slips up a little bit or something, like, you don't know. First of all, you don't know. You'll have 30 cases on the docket, for example.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about case number 18 and someone didn't call the third witness, and everyone's like, how is this turning on top of it? Like, literally, you have to prep 30 files.
Yeah.
And you don't know which one. And some of them are going to just resolve. Like, someone's going to take a plea or someone's going to run off. Yeah. And some aren't, but you don't know. You don't know which is which. So you got to have all of it put. It's harder than it looks.
The unfortunate thing, we have a problem, and I think this is probably a problem in all district courts as well as circuit courts, but a big problem in the city of Detroit is we don't have victims that show up. They're scared.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes to the idea in the back of my head, which is, if somebody assaults somebody, or I'm making an argument that they're a danger, I want them in jail, because then that gives the ability of the complaint witness or the victim or whoever, the family, to have reassurance that they can go to court without, like you said, or being harassed or being stalked or whatever. But unfortunately, because of this agreement, it's stymieing the ability to keep people in jail. And then it's this cyclical thing where now we bring defendants in for the exam, complaining witnesses don't show up, dismissal here, dismissal there. And then what do you see? 2 or 3 months later, unfortunately, these same kind of things, happen again.
Yeah.
So,
although that looks like it's turning, at least in the immediate. You never know. Is Detroit getting better? I mean, I grew up. I don't know if did you grow up in Michigan?
Yeah, I ended up growing. I went to school downtown. I work downtown. I live downtown. I don't right now, but no, I have an affinity with the city of Detroit for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Traverse City, far away from Detroit. But I'm
Mike,
familiar.
That's a little swankier up there. You know, that isn't Detroit.
Well, I mean, this is how old I am, my man. I have been to Tiger Stadium, but I'm talking about the old Tiger Stadium. And I have been to the Silver Dome, but I have not been to Ford Field. That's what I'm trying to tell you here.
Well, as long as you didn't say Briggs, I mean, Tiger Stadium, I can swallow that. I'll tell you a quick story about the Pontiac Silver Dome. I still remember this to this day. The WWF, the Royal Rumble, or something like this, whatever, or WrestleMania. It was in the Silverdome. And apparently, at some point, it was considered the most people ever in an indoor arena. This is when Hulk Hogan fought Andre the Giant. And you had Macho Man, the British Bulldogs, and Hacksaw Jim, whatever. I remember my father taking me there. We had seats all the way on top.
Oh,
No, but it was fantastic because you know what? I got to see, I still remember it to this day. So unfortunately, Mike, you know what? I think we're in that same genre of age for better. I would say for better. I think we're both at a
yeah.
good, but yeah, no, I've been there, done that.
It was good times. But Detroit seems, I haven't been to Detroit in ages. It from all I hear, it's a full on renaissance going on over there, and it's getting better.
Detroit looks fantastic.
Like they're doing some like new run. I mean, stuff that isn't even done yet, but it looks like they're gonna really change it.
It's building up. The skyscrapers are being built. You know, every piece of land is accounted for, and people are you know, building on that land, or they're renovating on that land. I think, you know, from this perspective, what you and I are talking about, the whole idea of everything being surveilled. I don't think that defendants are really catching on to the idea that they can't really get away with much in the city of Detroit because there's a camera on every corner. But that's a good thing, though. I think that's adding to, you know, Detroit's, you know, renaissance. And getting back to, hey, listen, the Tigers are doing well. The Lions are actually making the playoffs. I mean, the Red Wings, you're in Chicago. You know, I'm a fan of Marian Hossa, you know, and we had Marian Hossa, and it seemed like when Hossa ended up leaving, you know, the Red Wings ended up falling apart. But, you know, we have, our sports teams are doing well, and the Pistons seem to be on the verge of doing something good. So Detroit's in good shape. We're going to have a changing of the guard here soon, from Mayor Mike Duggan to, you know, whoever wins. It kind of looks like Mary Sheffield has, you know, has an edge right now, but you never know. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what Chicago looks like, but I'm a fan of Detroit. I pull for Detroit, and I think part of the passion that I show in the courtroom is because I really want this city to, you know, a city is only as good as its crime or lack thereof. And this is what bothers me is we really need to, you know, get going with this crime. It's tough. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it starts. You're right though. It starts with the bail thing because you got to be able to keep people in jail.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, and you know, I'm glad you had me on for this, because I really am in a transition. I'm going to be going back to, you know, civil litigation, and you know, fortunately people ended up, they saw me and they said, Steve, you know what? Let's get you back into civil, and they actually funded me. And we're in the process right now of building up a firm and getting out there and being, you know, not holding, you know, puppy dogs in, you know, in my arms and putting up the number one and claiming that I'm the best and having to say that, you know, you'll get respect if you come with me. No, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the, you know what? I go out there, I grind, I work harder than you, and, you know, I win. So at the end of the day, I think I can say to the city of Detroit, I gave it everything that I had, and I have a huge amount of hope. It's just for myself. I think it was time to just move forward.
No, that's good. It's good to make changes too. I mean, this channel was a big change for we talked about this for a second before. This channel was a big change for me, but you have to switch it up as you go through.
You know, you kind of, you know, what you do best, and I know what I do best. And what I do best is being in the courtroom, conducting trials, you know, getting verdicts, getting big settlements for people, making those people, you know, get their life back together. This, I do arraignments, and then that's it. it's almost like, what am I doing? I do this, I make the argument, and then I'm just continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it gets repetitive. So, and I think that I would better be served with changing people's lives a different way. And, but
there's one way. I want to let you go because I've held you over so far, but I forgot to ask you the whole first question I was going to ask you.
Yeah, please.
Okay. And then I'm going to cut you loose because you've been at work all day. Okay. Yep. But this one's a quick one.
Yeah.
The Northfield case.
Yeah.
Someone already told me there are two Northfields. There's a Northfield in Washington County and there's a Northfield in Wayne County. I'm thinking of Northfield and Wayne County because my sister lived there. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's why this Northfield case ends up in Washington County.
Yeah.
Okay.
Northfield and Northville. It's actually two different. So I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but this is an awful case for those of you who didn't see. These are foster parents who get shot up by the biological mother. It's awful.
Bad.
But in that case, and I don't mean to revisit all that. I had the mother who actually is the shooter. Yeah. That's what I'm referring to. They charge her with like 3 different crimes. It's like 11 counts total, maybe 3 here, 4 there, 5 there. And everybody's asking me, and I have no idea. I was a prosecutor for about 6 months, 6 million years ago, and forgot.
Yeah.
But everyone's asking me, why are there 3 cases? Like, why don't you just charge them with one case and have 11 counts or whatever?
Yeah. If you're asking me, I know that you and I had just facially gone back and forth. So I did give it a little bit of thought. Okay. If you want to look at it, theoretically, there were 3 different incidents within the entirety of this thing, from the time that this woman execution style ended up putting a bullet, through the survivor's head, but then ended up shooting his wife, as well as I believe it was the wife's father. Mm-hmm. And then she leaves. And then she is found, but I think then she flees. Maybe the last 2 incidents possibly could have been cojoined, but I think because of the fact that there was time in between the first incident.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then you have a second incident. I don't know if it was because she was surveilled or something like that, and then it was a third, but I have to imagine that there was a certain amount of time in between. But you know what? Besides all that, that woman's crazy. I mean, I was actually arraigning her for, all right, here, so what? You know what? If you have a little bit of time, let me just tell you this. Right. So this gal ended up failing to appear at sentencing over in 3rd Circuit. She was on a warrant at 3rd Circuit for a gun conviction that she never ended up going to sentencing to. So while she was committing this offense, the homicides, she had a warrant out for her arrest that she still does over in 3rd Circuit. And then there was another case that I arraigned her on that charges apparently they ended up getting denied and they had to be rebrought because there was some investigation thing. That she was charged after the murder in 36th District Court for another firearms offense where she was waving a gun up in the air, she was drunk, and she was shooting it. So, you know what? Probably it's going to be a trial issue, whether or not, one of the cases got dismissed. The conviction, though, of the gun charge, you know what? You're going to use that not only to habitualize her, but to say this woman's, she's off the rails, and she's been off the rails for a while here. And you know what? Unfortunately, this is the result of this. And I've heard her in court and all of the, things that she's saying. To me, I don't have much tolerance for it, but you know what? That's for that prosecutor to deal with. I'm sure they're going to do a great job, a bang up job, and get her in jail. Keep her in jail.
Speaking of which, you are the 3rd prosecutor I've had on here from the state of Michigan.
Really?
Deborah Davis, who I don't know if you know.
No.
Who else did I have? The other one's Detroit area. Come on, chat, tell me. Who else did I have on here? I wanted to know if you know her. Jessica Blanche.
I've heard it. I've heard of Jessica. Yeah.
She's not. She went to civil. It's funny. She went to civil too.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've heard of her. I haven't heard of the first gal, and that's no knock on her. I'm
Right.
sure, she's great at what she does. But we're all kind of in our own little worlds. You know what's
Oh, of
funny is
course.
there could be a big time case that's going on, even around me, and I wouldn't know what's going on with it
Yeah.
because I'm so involved in my own cases.
It could be in
But
the next room. You're like, whatever. I don't know.
I'll tell you something. I think it's the whole idea that you have to do what you feel like you're built for. And
Yep.
I just feel like, I love what I do in the city of Detroit, but you know what, I really love what I do in being in trials and getting people what I think they deserve. And but you know what? I'm like I said, I'm a paid assassin. So you put me in criminal court, whether it be defense or prosecution. I have my own, ideals about things, but I'm going to do my best for them there. And at the end of the day, I think it's just a matter of giving it your best. And I would hope that all attorneys do that. I just, maybe I take it to a whole different level, but that's just who I am.
Absolutely. That's why we love you. Thank you for coming on. I just want to thank you so much for coming on. I know everybody was excited to see you.
Yeah.
I told you 10 or 15 minutes. We're over 30 now.
Yeah. We're lawyers.
And it felt like 2. It felt like
Yeah.
2 to me.
Yeah. I mean,
but you got to get home. You got to get home. Thank you so much. I'm going to have you on again. Except I want to have you on to laugh at dumb clips next time.
Oh, I think that would be a really nice change of pace. This was a nice change of pace, but that would be even better. So yeah,
we got to get from another, like out of Colorado or Washington or something where you don't have to run into the judge.
Mike, I think it's dangerous getting you and me together, but you know what? If you give me the invite, I'll definitely be here. But you know what? To be serious though, I really do appreciate it, and I say it sincerely. You're doing a great thing for everybody, getting everybody into the courtrooms because it's the greatest profession in the world, and I love the idea that people are getting into it, and you bring levity to it, into a serious thing, which I think it needs. And I try to do it too. I try to make jokes, but nobody thinks my jokes are funny. So I've just given up on that. So
they are. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go home. I feel bad. You've been there. You've been going all day.
Can I thank your followers as well? They've
absolutely
they've always supported me, since day one. And that really meant the world to me because I really was on an island with this whole thing. And people actually had my back and they saw that I cared and I was working hard. So I really want to give a shout out to everybody. There are certain individuals, but I'm not going to individualize this. I really appreciate your followers for everything that they've done, all the support they've given me.
Oh, thank you. They are the best. They save my streams all the time.
Well, the whole situation is great. You guys have a good thing going. So I hope you keep it up.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming out.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. I want to go through the I just want to do the chats real quick. That was so fun. That was so nice. Big thank you to Steve again. I was just focused on the conversation. Thank you, Scott. I saw all these as we were going. Late talk with Mike and Steve. That was fun. There was a bunch of stuff I learned in that. That wasn't just surface. There was a bunch of like new information for me there. That was a lot of fun. Oh, I needed to get that up while he was still there. He'll see it. He'll see it. I know. I don't know why the Coney Islands over there are really good. It's so weird. I don't know why they have Coney Island dogs in Detroit, but they do, and they're amazing. Just trust me in this issue. Thank you, Jim McKay. The old Beverly Hills Cop. Great movie. To this day, it's a great movie. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, Terry. Oh, look at all this. Look at all these memberships, Angel. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. You know who else I have to thank is KDM. I don't know how, but KDM somehow was instrumental in getting me this information that kind of helped put this whole thing together. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate it. I will see you all soon.